Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Shenplays. Welcome to a new mission today where we are going to go for Duna. We have Kerbal alarm clock set up to alarm us when Duna is at a good position to transfer from Kerbin. And sure enough, there we go. So we fast forwarded 120 days using Kerbal alarm clock, and we're going to launch. We could have done other things in those 120 days, but I figured, screw it. We got Twitch running. Let's go get this done. So we're going to launch a rocket that we've already designed, if I could find it. What did we call it? We call it the Duna Explorer Seats 1. Now, this is not a Duna Explorer that's going to land. This is simply an Explorer that's going to Duna to get some readings and then come back. And this is probably extremely overbuilt, but once it's been launched, we can get the readings from Duna, and then if there's still enough fuel left, we can use Kerbal alarm clock to find out where we should burn from Duna. That's in like a specific time frame so that we can still get home to Kerbin within a reasonable amount of years. We've accepted some missions, not to Duna. We've accepted missions for like putting a station on Minmus. We've accepted a mission to put a station in orbit. We've accepted a mission to put a station around Ike, which is which is Duna's only moon. So we've accepted some missions that we can do, and they all have time limits, like 9 years, 30 years, or whatever, that you need to get them done, or else you automatically fail the mission. So to make sure we are staying within those time limits, this particular rocket is not intended to come home to Kerbin for many, many years. So it's going to stay out there gathering science for a long time. But we need to launch it now, and then we'll bring it home later. So don't worry too much about the bringing it home. Let me show you what this rocket has. It has some solids, some liquids in an asparagus design. And then all of this down here is just to achieve orbit. This up here, including this Poodle engine, this up here is all for leaving the Kerbin system and then exploring wherever we want to go. We have some LV909 engines with some drum fuel tanks. We have some batteries, some solar panels, some science that we can do. Now, we don't have a ton of science available, so this is going to kind of be a relic that's out in space long after we've achieved more scientific advances back on Kerbin. This will still be out exploring. But it will have one Kerbin inside this pod. Let's go ahead and assign the Kerbin. No, it's not going to be Jeb. We don't need a pilot. We're going to take Sodori. So let's get Sodori in there. We've recruited a whole bunch of people from Twitch chat. We can just recruit some more whenever we want. But we're going to take a scientist in here because we have a probe head, a hex probe head at the very tip top, and that's going to be how we control using SAS. We have some SAS modules there and there to help give us some more stability control. But for the most part, this sucker with 12,000 Delta V is just going to be out and about, roaming around for a while. We have not unlocked nuclear engines, so we don't have the super massively efficient ways of moving around space. But this will be an early design for getting some early science and eventually come home. I bet this thing's going to bring home maybe 1,000 or 2,000 science, probably more like 1,500 from wherever it goes. So let's go. Let's launch. Let's have fun. Wait, did I check all the staging? I might not have checked all the staging. I did a practice launch, and it went fine. We were able to recover the craft after it landed. It was no problem. And I know the lower level staging is okay, but I didn't check the upper level staging. I probably should. That looks good. And then the fairing, and then this with this engine, okay. And then this with this engine, okay. And then this in the parachute, fine. Save it. Let's go. Oh shoot! I hit the wrong button. Darn it! Wrong button. Oh, goodness. I hit exit instead of launch. Please tell me it's still loaded. It probably has the wrong Kerbin. Okay, it is still loaded, and it has the right Kerbin. Okay. Save. Launch. No, we don't want an antenna, Zip. Why would you have an antenna? We're planning on bringing this back to Kerbin. Why would you have an antenna? If you have an antenna, you only get a fraction of the science from each module. Now, in the very, very long past, like I think alpha stage even, you would get 100% science. But I believe in beta they introduced a scaling system, so you only got a certain percentage of the total science value if you transmitted via antenna. Whereas if you bring the science home in your pod, then you get 100% of the science value. Why would you have an antenna? Because this is going to spend 10 years in space. Yeah, but we're going to bring it all home. Why would you transmit it and only get like 25% of the science value when you can just bring it home and get all of the science value? So Sodori doesn't go mad? I don't mind if Sodori goes mad. That's a Twitch viewer. You know what? Twitch viewers, you guys can go crazy for all I care. In fact, go crazy, Twitch. Have fun. Just go crazy right now. All right. Sodori, if you're ready to go, I'm going to tell the probe head. I had to think of the word there. I was going to call it a robot. Sodori, if you're ready, we're going to tell the probe head to launch in T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, go. Sodori doesn't look too happy here. She's not a pilot. Twitch chat, you can go more crazy than that, please. She's not a pilot, so she doesn't have the intestinal fortitude that someone like Jebediah, for instance, would have. She's probably going to require many, many suit cleanings along this mission, especially if it takes several years, as we expect it to. And you know what? When she comes back, she might be a little bit crazy. But that's okay, too, because Kerbin here has probably the best PTSD relief in the entire system. I imagine there is just marijuana falling out all over the place here at Kerbal Space Center. Just everywhere. That's going to make her a little more calm. Oh my god, her teeth are showing. She's freaking out to the point where her teeth are showing. That's not good. Anyway, the solid stage separation went just fine. Our first liquid stage separation from the asparagus is going to come up in a few seconds here. Hopefully it goes okay. On the test launch, everything went fine. There we go. Looks good. Perfect. We did have a problem on the very first test launch where the outside asparagus liquid tanks were collapsing inward against the central column, and they actually pinched in when they decoupled. They pinched in, the tops of them did, and they broke off the main engine. Now we were still able to decouple and continue the launch. It wasn't really a big setback, but we have since redesigned it so that the engines, or not the engines, the empty fuel tanks will now fall away from the central rocket, which is far better. Hey, T-Just is here. Hi, T-Just. How you doing, man? T-Just, do you even sleep? I'm skeptical. I see you in Fall 19 everywhere. All right, let's start our roll. I should have started earlier, but I was reading chat, because chat's going crazy, which is great. Now I'm going to use SAS to control our roll. I don't want to roll over too far before the next stage. The next stage introduces an element of danger because this separation is actually physically above our roll, and it could potentially fall down and impact the center. So let's hope it doesn't happen here. Yeah, perfect. It fell away from the craft. Good. Throttle all the way up. Let's roll over a little bit more. And keep an eye on our apoapsis here. We're looking at 29,000 meters, 30,000 meters. Good. And also our timed apoapsis. This is very important here. I want to keep this somewhere around 55 seconds, maybe 50 seconds, something like that. I don't want this to get out of control to be like 70 seconds. 70 seconds would be too much time to apoapsis. But I have plenty of time here to slurp my coffee while Sodori poops herself some more. I imagine the interior of her pod right now is just pretty fucking filthy. Alright, 50 seconds on timed apoapsis. We're going to roll a little more until this comes down. Let's stop it right about... Nope, keep rolling. 55. Okay, stop it. Roll some more. Yeah, 55 is pretty good, but I want it to be like 60, I think. Ideally. Say hello to Brazilian viewers. Hello, Brazilian viewers. Does everyone in Brazil, like, use waxes to get rid of all of your body hair? Does anyone in Brazil even have body hair anymore, or is that, like, just gone? Have you bred it out of your system so that children born in Brazil no longer have body hair? It's in your genetic makeup now? Alright, we're almost horizontal now. And our T-minus is actually coming down. Okay, I don't want it to come down. I want it to stay... Oh, 58's fine. Okay, that's good. Last separation completes. Now we should achieve orbit with this stage right here, and then we have a poodle for the actual stage to leave the Kerbin system. Okay, okay, okay. Up, 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 up. I wasn't paying attention to the T-minus. The T-minus is going crazy bad. Okay, that's probably too far up. But we'll do it. 47.3, 47.4. Okay, that's better. Big difference between having 3 skippers and 1 skipper pushing your rocket. But we're about to enter space at 70,000 meters. There we go. Nice. Let's get the fairing off. Bye, fairing. Okay, 50 seconds. Let's get back to the equator here. Keep our burn nice and even. 54 is fine. That was a really bad adjustment I did there. So don't do that if you're flying your own craft. That was a poor adjustment, I should say. Not bad, but poor. Just a last-minute correction that I probably shouldn't have done in the first place. But 55 timed apoapsis is better than 48 or whatever the fuck it was. It was bad. Okay, now we're going to keep an eye on our actual apoapsis height, which says 83,000. We're going to want that to be somewhere between 75 and 95, so 83 works. And our periapsis is rapidly approaching 0, which means as soon as it flips positive, we're going to have a terrible orbit, but it's something. Okay, 1 minute 2, that's not good. Get back to horizontal here. 1 minute 4, okay. Now we're going to cut the engines when I see periapsis or apoapsis at 90 or periapsis comes positive. Actually, right about now is good. Okay, our T-minus is at 125. Let us set up a burn at apoapsis to get orbit. Right about there. We shouldn't have too much more to go because we did most of our burn on the Ascent, which is, it's ideal to do that, really. Alright, roll over to the target, please. And this is a whopping 17.7 second burn coming up. So it says to start it, Kerbal Engineer is telling us to start at T-minus 9 seconds, so we'll do that. In the meantime, though, we can fast forward a little bit, and Kerbal Alarm Clock will stop us 30 seconds before our burn. Great. I love Kerbal Alarm Clock. It's the best thing ever. Oh, someone commented. Someone was watching this. I used to play EVE Online a lot. And one of my friends on EVE was telling me that he was watching the stream and he was saying that whenever I play this game, it looks like I'm playing EVE Online. Every time he looks at it, it looks more and more like EVE Online because I have all these windows popping up everywhere. It looks like freaking Excel in space, which is essentially what EVE is. All right, let's burn. Let's get orbit. But it's true. I mean, you do need all this useful data or else you're just going to be wanting. You're going to be left wanting if you don't have all this stuff at your fingertips. Alright, good enough. So you can see, Kerbal Engineer says we have 89,000 by 86,000. It's pretty decent. It's not perfectly circular, but I'll take it. We have electrics. We have solar panels, still good. And we have batteries that are full. Our lights are turned on. Let's stop our rotation there. If you want to ever stop your rotation, as long as you're not in the atmosphere, you can just fast forward just a tiny bit and it will instantly stop your rotation. If you're in the atmosphere, you cannot do a non-physics warp. A non-physics warp will immediately lock everything in whatever orientation it currently states. So in our case, we were facing that way, but we were rotating. Non-physics warp will cancel all rotation immediately, and it is just an amazing way to actually stop your craft from spinning. SAS is off, and yet we're not spinning. It's great. But it doesn't work if you're in the atmosphere. All right, so I want to hop Sodori out. I just want to take a little look around. Yeah, you go ahead and let go there, Sodori. There you go. Get RCS on. Oh, yeah, look at this. Now, she is a scientist, so she doesn't really have the kind of, like, panic resistance that a pilot would have. But that's okay. She's out here to do some science. She's going to enjoy it, I'm sure. Right, Sodori? Right? Right. Let's hire some more Kerbals. Bronco 992 has been drafted as an engineer. Welcome aboard, Bronco. Get back in, please. Nikolai has been drafted as an engineer. Ochensol? Ochensol. Sounds like a floor cleaner. Has been drafted as an engineer. Wow, lots of engineers today. X01A4 has been drafted as an engineer. Anathel has been drafted as an engineer. Everyone's an engineer today, except Sodori. Okay, so if we look at the system map, just scroll out from Kerbin here, we can see that Duna is coming up ahead of us. And this is when you want to burn to Duna, either right there or even a little further ahead, whatever. It's the right time to burn for Duna. So now that we have orbit of Kerbin, we need to start burning for Duna. But before we do that, we should really check out... Okay, I have this web page somewhere. Let's see. KSP Interplanetary Calculator. Perfect. It's just ksp.olex.biz. It's a simple website. That's ksp.olex.biz. And this will show you the angle around Kerbin. If you're orbiting Kerbin, it'll show you the angle around Kerbin of where you want to actually be when you begin your burn for Duna, or for any celestial body, shall we say. Our parking orbit is 89K. Do the math. Okay, so I'm looking at it. You can't see this on the screen. Well, Twitch can. But we need to be just a little bit behind directly vertical, or just a little bit ahead of directly vertical. Okay, so at about, let's see, if we zoom out, so the orbit is vertical, and then zoom in, we want to be right about there. So if I set up a maneuver there, that's when we want to burn for Duna, something like that. And if we zoom out, and we burn right there, on that node, we should get an intersection with Duna. And this is all thanks to Kerbal Alarm Clock telling us when to launch. Okay, there we go. Does that work? Oh, I saw it. Did you see that? I saw it. There it is. There you go. Look at that. We're going to pass right by. Nice. Can I set Duna as target? No, I cannot. Why can't I set Duna as target? I can set Eve as target. Why can't I set Duna as target? I don't know. Duna? Can I set you as target? No. What in the world? If I click on Ike, I can set it as a target. But I can't set Duna as a target. Okay, welcome to weird interface bugs. I can set Jool as a target. I can set Moho as a target, but I can't set Duna as a target. You know, if I save and reload, I probably can. So let me go ahead and save. That's F5, right? Quick save? Okay, F5, quick save. Now let's do F9. And let's see if loading the quick save will then let me click and set target. That gonna work? Nope, I still can't set Duna as target. What the hell, game? Well, I'll just set Ike as a target, I guess. Where's Ike? There he is. I can set Ike as a target, but I can't set Duna. Whatever. Okay, so if we zoom in on Duna here, and we take our controls for that maneuver node. Where's my controls? There, okay. Now we can just fine-tune this a bit. No. So that we get closer to Duna. No? What if I use blue? No? Closer, the other way. You know what it is? It's probably our inclination. We probably need to adjust our plane planar inclination before we do that. How bad is our plane compared to Duna? Isn't Duna on the same plane as us? Yeah, Duna should be on the same plane as us. Let's try again. That was freaky. Can I really not set Duna as target? Oh, there we go. Now I can set Duna as target. Okay, whatever, game. I just couldn't do it for a while. Now I can. Magic. Okay. So set up the burn right about here. Okay. I don't know. Don't ask me. I just work here. Drag it to about 1,000 delta V. Oh, not that far. Okay. What, no interaction? No intersection? Really? It's awfully close. What if we drag this around the orbit just a bit? Okay, that looks like the closest, right about there. And then if we drag this a bit? No? Oh, there we go. I see it. Okay, what do we got? 46 million as our periapsis. That's pretty awful. Does it get any better if I use purple? Normal and anti-normal? A little bit, not much. Just 45 million, but just barely. Okay, 33 million, that's better. 32 million. Let's just go to Duna. Let's focus on Duna and see if we can focus view. And let's see if we can do the controls from there. And this is really what takes a long time, is planning your nodes. Because you want your nodes to be pretty spot on, right? Like I want this to be pretty close to Duna. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, now we want to go up a bit. Okay, then come closer. No, the other way. Okay, and then up again. This is one of those things where it may not look like you're actually getting a lot done, but if you fine-tune this, you'll get a pretty good burn. And then you'll notice that when you actually do the burn, that all this fine-tuning was for naught. Because it's not really going to affect it too much. We're going to get something within maybe 1 million. And then once we actually arrive in the Duna system, or the Duna sphere of influence, then we're going to have to do some adjustments. But that's okay. I don't mind doing some adjustments. The closer we make it now, the closer we'll be to Duna when we arrive, which is great. 6. I saw 6 million there. But yeah, this is all just fine-tuning. 6.4. 5.3. 5.2. Yeah, this is this is a lot of effort to make this just a little bit better. And I don't think you can do the purple controls and the green controls at the same time. So you gotta keep switching back and forth. But that's okay. I mean, at least this is relatively easy to do. It just takes some time and some patience. And you gotta be very gentle with your drags on these controls, or else you'll wind up, you know, burning off into space somewhere. Or you could spend several minutes doing these controls to try to fine-tune it, and then you could wind up just dragging the control by accident, or you could scroll your mouse wheel. Scrolling the mouse wheel is the worst, because you have to scroll your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. This is how you zoom in and out, is with the mouse wheel. But if you scroll your mouse wheel while your mouse is near one of these nodes, it will actually change your maneuver by scrolling the mouse wheel, which is the most annoying thing ever. You never want to have the mouse wheel control the maneuver node, because you're probably just trying to zoom in and out of your window or on an object. And if you zoom in and out on an object and your mouse happens to be near one of these controls, well, whoops, you just screwed up your maneuver node. You gotta be careful with that. Anytime you want to zoom in and out, make sure your mouse is nowhere near the maneuver. Then you don't have any trouble. I'm just gonna keep doing this a little bit more. I want to get closer to Duna. We're getting pretty close. Still got a ways to go. How close are we? 1.3. All right. We can do better than that. And there are mods to do this for you. I know I've used some mods that will calculate all this stuff for you, so you don't have to actually, like, plan this so perfectly. And the stupid thing is, like, even if we plan this perfectly and we do this exact burn, we get this burn just spot on, it's like, woo, yeah! 0.0 meters per second left on the burn, it was perfect. Even if you do that, it's still going to be screwed up once you actually arrive at the Duna sphere of influence. There's no way you're going to get it, like, perfect. But we'll do the best we can. We'll say that's pretty good, right about there. Something like that. Okay? And then when we arrive at the Duna sphere of influence, we'll do some fine-tuning to get it exactly where we want. But now that we have that set up, it's a 2-minute burn. Oh, well. We'll probably just do one more orbit. Yeah, we'll do one more orbit. Is that what I want? Yeah, one more orbit. Okay, so our burn's in 33 minutes. $450. We can do better than that. 370. We can do better than that. And again, this doesn't even matter that much. I mean, I'm not even moving the mouse, and it's just keeps coming up with different calculations just because, I don't know, randomness. All right, we'll stick with that. Good enough. So in 32 minutes, we have a burn that is 2 minutes and 55 seconds long. So we want to start the burn at T-minus 1 minute 23 seconds. Before we even consider doing the burn, let's go ahead and get our orientation proper. Watch out for aliens? Oh god, no. Please no aliens. Wait, aren't we the little green men and the little green women? I'm pretty sure Kerbals are designed to be like Martians. The little green men and women. That's what Kerbals are. They have no noses, they have giant eyeballs. Okay, so T-minus 1 minute 23 seconds is when we want to start the burn. And there probably will be... Yeah, we have 19 seconds of fuel left in this stage. There will be a stage... There will be a staging done during this burn, which is fine. Wonder how much science we'll get out here. We'll be able to do deep space science. Deep space just means we're orbiting the sun. We're going to do deep space science. We're going to do science around Duna, science around Ike. We can do close to Duna, close to Ike, far from Duna, far from Ike, and then around the sun. So that's 5 different readings. And then if we have fuel left, we can go over to Eve or Dres or Jool. I don't know. We'll probably have some spare fuel. I think we'll have spare fuel. Oh man, Sodori, you just look so fucking happy. She's been in space for like, I don't know, a week. She's freaking out, man. Don't freak out, Sodori. It's all gonna be okay. Probably. I'm sure she'll be fine. And this burn to get to Duna is taking just about 1100 delta V. Gotta remember to save 1100 delta V for the return trip, or we might not be able to get home. And to get oriented on the blue dot for our burn, I'm using a really simple trick of just using, what's it called? Non-physical time warp, because that will immediately stop our rotation. So once we hit the blue dot, I'm going to use non-physical time warp right there, and our rotation is stopped. It's perfect. SAS on, and let's get ready for burn. 1 minute, 23 seconds. Okay. Now these burns out here will, especially if you have a nuclear engine, which is very weak, these burns will take a long time. So you got to be patient with yourself. You got to remember to stage at the right times. Just don't freak out. Burn is up. Let's go. Staging in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And it can be important to do those at exactly the right time if you want to have your, burn calculations or whatever to be exact. But even though we did that pretty much spot on, we're probably still not going to wind up at exactly the right spot around Duna, but we'll see. But yeah, once you have the smaller engines, the more efficient engines like nukes, you're going to wind up with really long burns. I think the longest burn I've seen was like 28 minutes or something. And yeah, I had to sit there through 28 minutes of burning. And if you don't, you can use some time acceleration. Like normally the game will not let you use non-physical time acceleration when you're burning, but you can hold down the Alt key and still force it into physical time acceleration, which means it will let you do burns while you're accelerating. The unfortunate side effect of that is physical time acceleration can cause a lot of bad things to happen to your rocket. So be careful when doing physical time acceleration. Make sure that it's actually going to benefit you and not cause trouble. Still have 1 minute and 28 seconds to go on the burn. It's all good. Ow. Oh, 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 oh. Hang in there, Sodori. We got 1 minute left. We're going to send you to Duna. You ready for Duna? She's like, what's that? Yeah. She may be a scientist, but she ain't the brightest. Make sure you don't do an EVA while you're thrusting, or else, well, you're never going to get back in your craft. Because your craft will continue thrusting, and you won't be able to catch up to it. "39 seconds remaining." Okay. Yeah, I know the timer. It's fine. We knew this was going to be a long episode anyway. We haven't even gone to Duna yet. I mean, the episode's already past 30 minutes. That's okay. We got our blue lights on, which is the only important thing that matters. And now the camera shift there has shown that we are leaving Kerbin's sphere of influence, which is great. We are on an escape trajectory out of Kerbin. I'm going to try to chase the blue dot while we burn at minimum thrust, and I'm getting a really bad frame rate lag. We got 5 frames, 4 frames a second. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Back to good frames. But that really screwed me up on my burn orientation. I don't know what the hell happened there. I hope the video looks okay. Okay, thrust off. I'm going to set the thrust limiter to 10%. And we're going to put thrust on again. All right, let me take a look at our actual interaction with Duna over here. Where's Duna? There's Duna. Okay, zoom in on Duna. Now what do we have? Okay, so it's saying that we're going to wind up 5 million away from Duna. Let's see what happens if we burn just a tiny bit like this. Nope, that's going further away. All right. So this is definitely incorrect. We're going to flip around and burn away from the blue and see if we can't get it to be a proper orientation, because this is just way off. We did our burn pretty much spot on, and we're just way off. Turn off SAS, roll over. Okay, right about there. SAS back on. And cancel this. I'm just going to burn at minimum thrust here. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Get us nice and close. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Okay, 770. And then what we'll do is when we enter Duna's sphere of influence over here, this is where we're going to come in. When we enter Duna's sphere of influence, we'll do some adjustments to actually get orbit, because this is not going to be orbit, obviously. All right, SAS off. And it's time to drift. I think it's time to drift. Turn the lights off. Not getting any electricity out here because we're currently behind the planet. Yeah, the planet's between us and the sun. All right, let's fast forward. There we go. We're leaving Kerbin. Bye, Kerbin. Bye. All right, you can see here we're still within Kerbin's influence, but out here, in 3 days, we're going to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence entirely. That's what we're waiting for. Say goodbye to Kerbin, Sodori. Goodbye, Kerbin. Now out here, we'll check and see if we still have a date with Duna. I assume we will. It says 789K is our periapsis, but we'll see what happens. Sphere of influence changes causes orbits to do weird things. So it's got to go on speed 1, and hopefully the sphere of influence change doesn't get screwed up. Got to be very patient with these things because they're usually freakishly wrong. Anytime you're around a sphere of influence change, it just screws up all its calculations. Got to be patient with this stuff. Come on now. We still haven't left Kerbin's sphere of influence. We're still waiting for it. It says we're 8 days ago. It says 8 days ago we left Kerbin's sphere of influence. It's lying. It also says our current trajectory is this yellow thing, this yellow line. That's lying too. You're lying to me, Kerbal. You're lying to me. Come on. What's the real info? What's the real info? There we go. Okay, we do still have a date with Duna, and it looks like 789 was correct. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll take that for now. Cool. Okay, we are no longer around Kerbin. Our current orbital body is the sun, which means we can get new readings out here. We've never been out here before, at least not in this career. Let's rotate up to get some power on these electric panels. Okay, that's pretty good. Put the lights back on. There you go. And let's get some science. Materials bay. 50 science. The high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. Nice. Get a goo science. Goo feels at home. Get a thermometer science, if I can find it. Oh, there's the barometer. Get a barometer. Vacuum, no kidding. And temperature. Measuring the temperature of space atmosphere seems to be, or space appears to be quite impossible. There is no matter around to be hot or cold, but we still get 16 science out of it. Get a crew report. High over the sun. Yeah, 10 science. Hop out. Get an EVA report. High over the sun. You feel kind of small right now. You hope you know where you're going. Haha. Yeah, well, that's why we have the probe head, because she has no clue where she's going. All right, let go. Let's pick up this science down here so we can reuse these things. Okay, that thing's ready to be reused. Next up is El Goo canister. Restore. There we go. Thermometer, take the data. All right. Good job, Sodori. First time in space and she's already acting like a pro. Take the crew report. Store all the data. And get back in. Okay, so she's done her first pass. Every time we do any readings, we're going to have to do that so that we can take new readings afterwards. But that's all the data we can do from high over the sun, so why don't we fast forward until our encounter, which is 259 days away. We're on full speed. This is as fast as the simulation can possibly go. We're at 10,000 speed, which means 10,000 Kerbin seconds are going by every second. That's pretty crazy. But it's still going to take a while. We're still a long way off from our actual encounter. And hopefully this is correct. Hopefully it says 7,900 meters. Hopefully that's correct, right? We could do some adjustments right now, but we'll just wait until we're in Duna sphere influence. Again, if you don't know this, it's more efficient to do adjustments further away from a celestial body than it is closer to the celestial body. So if we were to do some adjustments right now to get into a better orbit of Duna, or a closer flyby of Duna, it'd be cheaper to do it now than it would be to do it once we're in the sphere of influence of Duna. But it's going to be less accurate to do it now. And that's always the way it is with this game. It's always cheaper to do it further away, but it's also less accurate to do it further away. So you kind of have to balance it. You can do the most fuel efficient burn in the world, but if you're traveling from, Jool to Moho or something, then by the time you arrive in Moho, all your calculations are for naught, and you're going to have to do some adjustments anyway, because it's just really inaccurate to do it when you're so far away. All right, so let's get into Duna sphere influence here in 1 minute, apparently. And once it hits T-minus like 10 seconds or whatever, I'll slow down. Okay. And you always want to be at speed 1 when you're doing a sphere influence change, so it doesn't screw up the calculations. There we go. Blue line. We're now around Duna. So before we do anything else, let's get some readings from around Duna. We're considered high over Duna right now. All right, get a crew report. The planet is very red and appears to have deep brown furrows across its surface. There does appear to be some kind of ice at both poles. 25 science. Very nice. What about the Science Junior? Science Junior says the high radiation environment caused a few samples to glow. It says the same thing as it always says. All right, but 125 science. That's nice. Mystery goo. The goo feels right at home. 50 science. Thermometer. Measuring temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, but you get 40 science. I'll take it. And the barometer. 60 science. I like it. Hop out Sodori, get an EVA report from high over Duna. You've recorded your observations. Another 40 science. Wow, we are just packing in the science today. And remember, she is a scientist, so she will get extra science out of all of these experiments, which is just great. And as you level up your scientists, they will get even more science out of experiments. So right now, she is a 0 star, not even a level 1. She's just a level nothing. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. She is a level nothing scientist right now. So her bonus, I believe, is at 100%. But later on, you can get more and more and more science by doing, or just by using a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 scientist, you get more science out of every experiment. So the more you use your scientists, the better they get at getting extra science. Take the data. Move around to the other side. But since she's level 0, we're not going to get as much as if she was a higher level scientist, I mean. Take the data. Restore the experiment. Take the science. Okay. Grab the ladder, please. Take the crew report. Store the experiments. And get back in. Excellent. So we now have high over the sun data and high over Duna data. Let's go get some low over Duna data. So for low over Duna, we're going to have to get a closer approach. If I could please click and make a maneuver, that'd be great. I'm surprised they still haven't made this easier. Between beta and alpha, they didn't make it easier to make maneuvers. Sometimes it simply will not let you make a maneuver, which doesn't make any sense, but what are you going to do? Alright, the blue will get us closer. Looking at 224. Let's get closer. Alright, there's an impact, so now let's rotate over. No, I want to go the other way. Yeah, that's better. 158, okay. 53. Hey, I1Bach, welcome back, man. Thanks for resubbing. Yeah, we did the crew report. I think. Good question. I think we did. Let me grab it and put it back in. Take data, store data. No, we already had the crew report. Okay. If it tells you board anyway, it means you already have that scientific data. Okay, so what does it look like? We're getting pretty much equatorial. Now, does anyone know what altitude we should be at for orbit of Duna? Because we can use the atmosphere to slow us down a little bit. I think we want to be somewhere around like 15 or 20K to get atmospheric assistance. What's called aero braking. Actually, we're not doing aero braking. This is called aero capture. When you want Duna's atmosphere or any celestial body, when you want the atmosphere to actually capture you, it's called aero capture. When you want it to just slow down, in other words, when you already have orbit and you want to slow down, then it's called aero braking. What in the world? What in the world? It says we no longer have a Duna encounter. Huh? Thanks, game. I don't know what happened there. That's odd. I don't know. There we go. 40K? 40K sounds way too high. Aero capture is like 15 or 20K. Okay, 20K. Yeah, I know the atmosphere goes out to 40K, but the atmosphere, you don't want to arrive at 40K because it's so thin, it's like it won't even affect your craft at all. But if you arrive closer, then it'll affect your craft. I don't know what happened with that maneuver, but it was weird. All right, looking at 250, 240, 200. Okay. What in the world? It did it again. What the hell, game? Where's my maneuver? I don't know. I'm just going to pretend that everything's normal. I'm just going to try it again. Third time's a charm. Now, this is not going to take a whole lot of delta V to do this. It looks like it's about 40 or 50 delta V. It would take even less if we did it further away. We're doing it a little bit close to the planet, which means it's going to take more than normal, but that's okay. I mean, 60 delta V is not really a big deal for me. It's not a deal breaker. So we'll try to, we'll target 20K, I think, as our approach. 20K sounds good. So we'll get a little bit of atmospheric assistance, but not too much. Now you can do it, you can do an aero capture without any braking assistance at all, but it can be difficult to get the exact right altitude. And that's based on your speed and your mass. I'm sure there's a website or something where we can calculate it perfectly, but I'm not going to go to calculate it perfectly. I'm just going to do whatever's convenient. All right, so 19.5. That we'll go with that. Okay, let's get on target. And we'll do this. Okay, in 1 day, 1 hour, we have a 1 minute 36 second burn. Oh, I wonder if we can move that back. No? There we go, like right there. Okay, in 1 hour, what about if we move it back further? Can we move it back further, or is it going to bug out again? Okay, I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me drag it closer to my ship. Oh, the maneuver just deleted itself. I did not have as much trouble with this when it was in beta. I don't know why it's being so trouble. We just lost our node. It's just gone. For whatever reason, it's just gone. So we got to do it again. 4th time's a charm, everybody. If anyone knows why it keeps doing that, let me know. That's the 3rd time it's just deleted itself for no reason. Very odd. I mean, I probably have somewhere around 400 or 500 hours in this game. Obviously in alpha and beta, but I have not had this much trouble with maneuver nodes before. Certainly, I haven't had them deleting themselves before. That's new. And quite frustrating. Come on. Let's work together, game. You and me. You and me, game. We can do this. Alright, there we go. 20k. Something like that. And it's mostly equatorial, so it should be pretty good. Alright, we're still right on target pretty much. It is how long? Where's Kerbal Engineer? It is a 45-second burn. Okay. So we're going to start that in a few minutes. Let's fast forward until the timer is there. Kerbal alarm clock will pause for us. 3, 2, 1. And we want to start it at 23 seconds. Let's put SAS on. There we go. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Go. Gosh, the poodle never really looks like it's fully on, does it? Oh, shoot, we're at 10% thrust. Whoops. I had it at 10% thrust. I forgot about that. Whatever. Close enough should be fine. As long as we get right about 20 kilometers from the surface, we should be okay. 2, 1, go. Okay. SAS off. And now we should be able to drift in. Let's see what's our approach look like now. It looks pretty good. 20k. There we go. All right. Now, this is not going to come into land, but it probably will get us orbit. If this doesn't get us orbit, we can do a retro burn to slow down even more. But we'll see what happens. One thing I am concerned about is Duna's atmosphere will have some drag on our craft. Hopefully it won't be enough drag to break up our craft, but we'll see, won't we? Sodori, just to let you know, you are an experiment, and you are also expendable. I can hire Kerbals at a whim. Look at that, I just hired a Kerbal. Powhatan has been hired as a Kerbal scientist. So if you are to die, Sodori, it's okay. I'm alright with that. And don't let that terrify you or anything, but you are definitely expendable. Oh, look at that. We just hired Ayatyaska, or Ayatskya has been hired as a pilot. Great. Hire some more from Twitch chat. Kaosh has been hired as a pilot. Great. Mangji Coyote has been hired as a pilot. Great. Don't mind me, Sodori. I'm just hiring your replacement right now. Knamek has been hired as a pilot. Great. CZQU has been hired as a pilot. Great. She's still happy. She doesn't seem to mind at all. All right, so we're oriented retrograde. We're going to lock in SAS there. And we're going to fast forward until Duna comes a lot closer. And then we can do some readings from low Duna orbit. Now, does anyone know what counts as low Duna? I'm sure it's going to be somewhere around 100K or something to be considered low Duna, near Duna. Because the readings you get high up are different than the readings you get low. And there's also more readings. Because Duna has an atmosphere, it will also have upper Duna atmosphere, and then I think the other one is called flying at Duna. So there's a whole bunch of readings you can do if the planet has an atmosphere. Or the moon, like Jool has moons with atmospheres as well. Yeah, does anyone know how close you have to be to get low over Duna readings? I mean, we won't be very long until we're there, so we'll find out soon enough. Game? Did it crash? Okay, it almost crashed there. Whoa, that was freaky. Anytime you mouse over or click on the contracts tab, it tends to like almost crash the game. You got to be careful with that contracts tab. I think it's between 90 and 100K. All right. Well, we'll slow down time and we'll get some readings before we actually hit the atmosphere, because I don't want her to hop out when we're in the atmosphere. Okay, 240, 230, 200. Still looking good? Yeah, still looking good. 170, 160. We'll do it at 100. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think now that the camera has oriented, I think that counts as near Duna. Let's see what it says. Yeah, near Duna. So when the camera shifts, it shifted at like 135. When the camera shifts, that's when you know you're near Duna. Okay, let's get some new readings from near Duna. Mystery goo. There we go. Barometer. There we go. And the thermometer. There we go. And the science lab. There we go. 175 science. Very nice. Yeah, the closer you are to a celestial body, the more science you get out of it, really. Get the EVA report. Take the science. Let go. We got to pick up this stuff and get back in before we get into the atmosphere. Reset it. Take the data. Crying baby. Take the data. Reset it. And last but not least, the thermometer. Okay, the thermometer's not playing ball. Might have to rotate the craft to get the thermometer. For some reason, the Kerbal's helmet is so big that you can't... Oh, there we go. We're just almost got it. Got it. Okay. The Kerbal's helmet is so big that it can be tough to get close enough to actually collect data sometimes. Gotta be careful where you put stuff. But what we could have done is we could have gone back into the craft and we could have rolled the craft over. Like if we rolled this way, then we could have put the thermometer in an easier to reach position. Alright, let's get back on retrograde. Just in case we have to actually burn to slow down, we'll be ready for it. Alright, turn the lights off. We're going to need the electricity for SAS only. How's it look? Yep, still on target for 20K. So right now what we're going to do is we might even be able to get some readings from the upper atmosphere. I'm not gonna let Sodori get out of the craft in the upper atmosphere, but you can tell we're in the atmosphere now because we have only physical available on our time warp. We're in the atmosphere here. Let's see, does that count as different readings? Nope, still space near Duna. Okay. Still space near Duna. Okay. We'll see if we can get upper atmosphere readings here. And I want to keep an eye on our trajectory. I want to see if we can actually get a flight path without burning the thruster. We're probably going to have to burn a little bit, but we'll see. But if we can get aero capture from Duna, that'd be great. From the atmosphere, I mean. The atmosphere will slow us down, but not yet. It's still accelerating us for now. Okay, are we near upper atmosphere yet? Nope, still space near Duna. That's not new science. I need new science, damn it. 28,000. Are we slowing down yet? Yeah, we're slowing down now. Okay. That means this will be changing very gently. You'll start seeing this Duna escape start swinging over to the left. And if it doesn't swing fast enough, we can just fire the rocket and slow down manually. But I'm hoping that it'll be enough aerobraking that we don't have to fire the rocket. We'll see. No, we're not landing. This is not a lander. This is simply a flyby mission to get as much science as we can, and then come back to Kerbin, get some new technology, and then we'll probably come back and land at that point. Okay, we're starting to get some effects on the craft. That's going to slow us down quite a bit here. And we don't have a heat shield, but that shouldn't be a problem because the atmosphere of Duna is very thin. But I will orient the craft to be more directly retrograde. Okay, this is as low as we're going to get. This is as much drag as we're going to get, and it looks like it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to fire the rocket here. Full thrust. And we should get orbit with that. Yeah, so I think the target for us, with the mass that we have, we probably should have come in around 18K or so. 20 and a half wasn't low enough. Okay, engine is now off, and the atmosphere should be enough to get us orbit. Yep, we got orbit. Okay, good. You'll see a circle form very soon here. There we go. Okay. And we're heading back out to space now, which is great. Let's see, does this count as upper atmosphere? Yeah, it does. Okay, let's get some readings from upper atmosphere, and we'll collect it once we're out safely. Upper atmosphere. Now, Sodori, do you feel brave enough to get some upper atmosphere EVA readings? Because I'll do it. I'll risk your life, Sodori. I will risk your life, Sodori. Get a crew report. Upper atmosphere. Sodori, if you're feeling brave, let's do it. Upper atmosphere. Yeah. Got it. No, Sodori! No. Should not have done that. She couldn't hang on. She couldn't hang on. Oh, Sodori, I'm so sorry. Well. Oh, man. So this is where I say that before 1.0, we've done this many times, and it's been fine. But now that we're in 1.0, the atmosphere, even in the very, very upper atmosphere, the atmosphere has enough particles there to slow you down and rip you off the ladder. And poor Sodori here, she's going to spend time around Duna. Yeah, she's coming into land. The rocket is going to keep on going, but she's going to come into land here. So let's come into land. Oh, Sodori, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sodori. Oh well, at least she's happy, right? No, she's freaking out. Oh, Sodori. Just burn up? We can try burning up, but that's not going to matter, is it? If we burn up, is that going to affect us at all? Probably not. The weird thing is, we might even be able to get orbit. It would be weird, but we might be able to get orbit. We only have a little bit of EVA propellant here. I don't know. I don't know, class. Nope, we're out of EVA propellant. Well, no, there you go. She's dead. She's toast. We wasted all of our EVA propellant. She's spinning like a top now. We wasted all of our EVA propellant, and she is doomed to crash on Duna. What we could have done is we could have saved our EVA propellant to try to, like, land her safely, because the atmosphere is thin enough that we might have been able to land safely with just using the EVA propellant, the monopropellant, at the very, 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 very last second, and then land it. Maybe we could have done a rescue mission to go pick her up at some point, but oh well. Rip Sodori. She's gonna drill a hole right into the surface. But you know what? We know for a fact that this craft can come out here and get a whole bunch of science. So I think what we're going to do is come back off camera with the same rocket and not hop out once we're in the upper atmosphere. We'll get all the science that we want, but we're not going to hop out and get an EVA report from the upper atmosphere. Oh, she's starting to burn up. You can see stuff starting to take damage here. The flags are taking damage. This green bar shows you how much damage that she has taken. This is her body damage. She's loving life, though. She's not going to go down sad. She's not going to go down without a fight. And when she dies, she's going to die happy. Right, Sodori? You going to die happy? Oh, yeah. She's going to die happy. Oh, Sodori, I'm so sorry. At least we pumped her full of morphine, right? So she's... Oh, there's scatter below us. There's scatter below us. You know what? She might even bounce. I've seen kerbals bounce before. That'd be hilarious. You want to bounce for me, Sodori? No, she's not going to bounce. She's going to poof. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. I should have saved your EVA propellant. I could have saved you with a bounce. Oh, what the? She bounced. What the? Really? Well, okay then. Everything's fine. Yeah, she's going to be just fine. We're going to have to go pick her up someday. Well, I tell you what. It's time to plant a flag. Oh, man. And this is going to be like back at home at Kerbal Space Center. Back at home at Kerbal Space Center, they're going to be saying, she's dead, mission failure, we didn't get any of the science, we lost one of our bravest crew members. And they're going to be writing up all these reports about what to do on the next trip because they know that this was a complete failure. And the entire time, she's going to be here, you know, eating her own... She's going to recycle all of her food into poop, and then she's going to have to eat her poop, and she's going to have to start eating dust from Duna. I don't know what she's going to do out here, but they're going to think she's dead. In their books, in all the Kerbals, they're going to have their books. They're going to say, you know, brave Sodori Kerman was burned up in Duna's atmosphere or crashed into Duna's surface, and she'll be remembered in history as, you know, a brave Kerbin, but she did a dumb thing. And what not to do is not to hop out in EVA in Duna's atmosphere, because it's dangerous now. It used to be safe, but now it's dangerous here in 1.0. But then they're going to find her, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, why am I seeing this homing beacon, you know? Why am I seeing this homing beacon, and why is there a flag on Duna? Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're probably going to build a statue in her honor, you're right. But she's going to be here, and she's going to be like, well, that was fun. Let's, not do that again. Wow. And we can go pick her up someday. Yeah, why not? Let's go pick her up someday. That'll be our first rescue mission to Duna. That sounds fun. We'll bring a two-pod lander. A two-person lander with only one person in it, one Kerbal in it, and we'll pick her up and bring her home. So where did we wind up? We wound up... Well, what biome is this? Oh, we can't even tell. Kerbal Engineer doesn't work here. But we can use Alt F12. Oh, she jumped. Whoops. We can use Alt F12 to see what biome this is. Oh, I don't know. It's blue. We're in the blue biome, everyone. That's either the lowlands or the highlands. It looks like we're in the lowlands. Okay, we're in the lowlands. Well, we'll come pick her up someday. I'm so sorry, Sodori. I don't know how she lived through it. Oh well. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Shen, you've been you. I'm going to come back off camera and do a whole bunch of that science that I was going to do with her. We'll just do it with a different Kerbal. But yeah, that's great. Let's go back to the Space Center. Unbelievable that she lived. Why did she bounce? She had no EVA propellant. She wasn't supposed to bounce. All right, I'll see everyone later. Have a good day.